So, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you are considering moving to the beautiful Playa del Carmen, or you're just interested to see what the price is and what the difference is from the place that you live yourself. So let's get into it and figure out what is the cost of living in Playa del Carmen. All right, so the biggest expense that I have in Playa del Carmen is my rent. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom place that I share with a roommate. We pay $700, and $700 divided by 2 is $350. So my rent right now is $350, and then I also pay for utilities separately, and those are about $25 every month. So about $375 is what I pay for rent to live in this place. I also, with the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, I also get a rooftop that you can go up there and relax, look at the sea. They got Wi-Fi up there to do some work, so really dope place. And the value I'm saving in comparison to where I was living at in Atlanta, can't compare it. Now, with that being said, you can find places that are higher, and you can get higher quality places. And you can find places that have a much lower price, and you can get something a little bit more modest. And I've hit on this in other videos, but that's one of the best parts about being in Playa del Carmen. You can truly choose something to fit your budget and to make it work for yourself. So food, my favorite part of Playa del Carmen. They have a ton of amazing food to choose from in this little town. And personally, I spend about $100 per week on my food. So that is about 400 USD per month on food. The caveat that I will give with that is that I do a mix of groceries, some eating on 5th Avenue, and then some eating in smaller Mexican restaurants that I see around my neighborhood. And that total will give me 100 a week. But if you decide to live all on 5th and eat food only from 5th Avenue, you will probably spend a little bit more. So maybe 150 to 200 per week, and that will put you at maybe 800 a month. But for me personally, I spend about $100 per week on food. So that is 400 per month that I'm spending specifically on food here in Playa del Carmen. All right, so nightlife. Nightlife here is super fun. There's a ton of stuff to do, whether you like doing salsa dancing or whether you just like clubbing it up. It's a ton of stuff to do out here. But the caveat I will give to that is some places definitely remove the Mexican prices and they put the gringo prices or the American prices when you're out. So definitely be careful of that. Personally, my expense on nightlife is about $50 a week. I go out maybe 2 to 3 times a week and get a couple beers or something like that. And it costs around $50. Like I said, for maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So for me personally, I spend about 200 USD per month. Again, the caveat I would give to that is if you like going out and getting a section and getting hookah and popping bottles, you're not gonna spend $50 per week. You're probably gonna spend more like $150 to $200 per week. And if that's what you like, cool. But me personally, I spend about $50 per week, and that is about 200 USD per month that I'm spending on entertainment. So for me, one of the best parts about being in Playa del Carmen is the location of it and the activities that you're allowed to do here. So for me, I put aside about 250 USD per month just to do fun things that, I normally wouldn't have the opportunity to do back home. So whether that be a cenote tour or whether that be going to Cozumel and going bike riding or just anything of that sort, I put aside some money towards, because there's a ton of stuff to do here. And, even if you are coming here for the affordability of it, you also need to come here for the life part of it. And you need to make sure that you enjoy it and, really take in this experience that you get to have. So for me personally, I put aside $250 a month for excursions and fun stuff and just lifestyle. All right, so transportation, how are you getting around? Believe it or not, It's actually very cheap to get around Playa del Carmen. Most of this city is walkable if you want it to be. If you would like to take a taxi, generally you can go anywhere in the city for 50 pesos. That is about 250 USD one way. In addition to that, I'd say if you're gonna stay here multiple months and you're maybe not in a place that is close to a lot of places that you wanna be at, invest in a bike. I actually got my bike for $50 when I got here. I got a really good deal, and it did get stolen, unfortunately, but when I had it, I was able to go anywhere I needed to go in less than 10 minutes. And I got a good deal on the bike. Usually bikes run you about $100 to $150. So you got your taxis that generally charge $250. Then you got the bikes that you can buy from usually $100 to $150. And also you have collectivos. And collectivos are good to go if you want to go to Tulum or something for a day, or Cancun or something like that, because they'll take you long distances for like maybe 40 pesos or so. I've had a couple friends that rode in collectivos and they loved it. So for me personally, I'd say I spend about 50 per month on transportation. And also I'll say to that, I like walking. This is a beautiful town. It's gorgeous outside. I really don't ever mind walking unless I'm just in a rush or I'm late to meet somebody or something like that. And then I'll take a taxi. But for me, walking is always my first choice. So I keep my expenses low by just walking everywhere and taking a taxi when necessary. All right, so for this last category, I just decided to group everything up into one expense. And this is just the random expenses that some are planned and then some just occur. So the first thing is that my cell phone plan. All the major carriers in the US actually do offer service in Mexico too. So you have T-Mobile, you have Verizon, you have AT&T, you have Sprint. Even though I think T-Mobile and Sprint are the same now. But anyway, all major carriers do have service here in Mexico. Now, what I'll say with that is if you're out here and you don't have to have a Mexican or an international plan, don't do it, because they charge so much more money. I do have an international plan, but it's strictly because my job needs a US based number. If they did not need a US based number, I would not deal with an American company out here, because the service is a lot worse and they charge like 3 times the amount. But with that being said, I pay $110 in my cell phone bills, some other things as well. And these aren't things that are guaranteed to happen or anything like that, but you just genuinely never know when you're living abroad in another country about what could or what may happen to you. So I personally always try to set aside a little bit of money every month for an emergency flight back home, or an emergency purchase that I have to make as well for like my safety or well-being here in Mexico. So for example, I don't leave with my passport, but maybe one day I left the house and lost my passport. That's an emergency purchase I have to make, because that affects my residency here in Mexico. Another random purchase that I'll have is my gym. I go to a beach gym called Coco Beach Gym. Super nice, and it's very fun, but it costs about $50 per month, which is pretty good for a gym membership, to be honest. And then you even have, like, I know I had a section on excursions, but you also have plenty of opportunities where you'll be out maybe having a beer with a friend or having a bite to eat, and you run into this person and they're going to this cenote this weekend or this trip this weekend. So just the random experiences that you get to have too. All right, guys, so I've gone over all my expenses. Excuse me, I gotta write some of this stuff down because we talked about a lot. But so looking at all these expenses, we've gone through rent. Our rent is $350, right? My food is $400. Entertainment, I'm spending $200. For experiences, I'm spending $250. Maybe those are the same thing, but who cares? Transportation, I'm spending $50. and random things like I mentioned, my cell phone bill, my gym membership, you know, saving for emergency flights or emergency purchases, 200 USD. So all those things bring us to a grand total of $1,450. All right, so for a month here in Playa del Carmen, in this beautiful paradise, I spent less than $1,500. And I kind of mentioned this in the last video too. I think the biggest difference for me between living back in the States and here is the quality of life that comes with that $1,500. The quality of life that comes with this is still pretty insane to me, guys, and I'm going on 3 months here. With my salary back in the States, I could live, I could get a place, but I ain't going out 2 or 3 times a week and hitting cenotes on the weekend and maybe taking a trip to Cozumel or something like that. But in Mexico, I actually do have that flexibility and that capability to do so. So cost of living video, hope you guys enjoyed. If you already don't know, everybody says it, like my video, subscribe. I'm coming out with videos at least every 2 weeks. I'm gonna try and do it every week. But yeah, guys, be sure to support, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.